Minasan ohayou gozaimasu. Thank you for joining me today for the Japanese Easy News article of the day. Today is November 4th, 2025, 2025年11月4日. And for our article title today, we have 高市総理大臣、外国人にルールを守るようにしっかり言いたい. So, Prime Minister 高市総理大臣. And then we have a quote here. So this is a quote given to us by Prime Minister Takaichi. 外国人に So 外国人に to foreigners. 外国人 foreigners. Then we have the particle に. And ルールを守る. So ルール is rules. And then 守る is to obey or to follow. So to foreigners. ルールを守らないように. So yoni is kind of like meaning so that rules are obeyed or so that they obey rules. しっかり言いたい. So this is the verb you in the I form for 言いたい. So I would like to say to foreigners. And then also we have an interesting kind of pair here. So when you have yoni, which is so that, followed by a you to say something, that can kind of be seen as like giving advice or maybe even scolding or not quite commanding, but like telling someone they must do this. So Takaichi, Prime Minister Takaichi is saying, I would like to tell foreigners to obey the rules. And then that shikari is firmly, so being strong. I would like to give a strong statement to foreigners saying, obey the rules, do what you're supposed to. Okay, here's our vocabulary list from the article. We have mamoru, to obey, to protect, or to keep. Like to keep a promise, we use mamoru, yakusoku o mamoru, to keep. We have shikkari, which is firmly, sufficiently, or properly. Atsumaru is to gather, and this is an intransitive verb. There's also a transitive verb, atsumeru. So when you are gathering people, it would be atsumeru. For people to gather by themselves, it would be atsumaru. And we have seikatsu or seikatsu suru. Seikatsu is like your daily life, and then seikatsu suru is to live. Shakai is society. Ichibu is part or some. So a lot of times this will be connected to another noun with the particle no. So ichibu no blank, some of this or a part of this. We have kaigi is a meeting. Shiraberu is to research or to look into. And kangaekata is a point of view or approach, literally a way of thinking.
今日、大臣が集まって、日本人と外国人が生活しやすい社会について考えました。日本で働く外国人や旅行に来る外国人が増えていますが、一部の人がルールを守らないことが問題になっています。会議で高市総理大臣は、外国人にルールを守るようにしっかり言いたいと話しました。そして、今どんな問題があるか調べて、どんなルールにしたらいいか考えるように言いました。来年の1月頃、新しいルールの考え方を決める予定です。
All right, let's jump right into our article. I'm trying something a little new with the format so I can underline certain phrases and things like that. Please let me know if you think that's helpful, and I'll be doing this from now on. But all right, let's listen to the article.
今日、大臣が集まって、日本人と外国人が生活しやすい社会について考えました。
Okay, so we have 今日 or 4日. So 今日 being today, 4日 being the fourth, since today is the fourth. We have 大臣が集まって. So 大臣is the ministers. So this can be the minister of education, the minister of all sorts of things, right? So some of these ministers gathered together. 集まる in the K form. So they gathered and they're doing something else. Then we have 日本人と外国人が. So 日本人, Japanese people, と foreigners, 外国人が生活しやすい. So 生活する is to live, and then しやすい. So this する is being changed into the 安い, attached to 安い to mean simple or easy to do. So 生活しやすい, easy to live, or comfortable. A lot of times 安い can be like comfortable to do something. So 生活しやすい. 社会. So 社会 is society. So all of this right here from 日本人 to 社会 is all a single noun, just modified. So 日本人と外国人が生活しやすい社会. A society in which Japanese people and foreigners can live together easily or can comfortably live. について考えました. So について is about, and 考える to think or to consider. So today on the 4th, ministers gathered and thought about this is the kind of society where Japanese and foreigners can live together comfortably.
日本で働く外国人や旅行に来る外国人が増えていますが、一部の人がルールを守らないことが問題になっています。
Okay, so when you're breaking down Japanese sentences, always try to find little chunks you can break it into. So this first ga here is a good place to break it down. So let's take this first section here. 日本で働く. So 日本で Japan, in or at. So in Japan, 働く外国人. So 日本で働く外国人 would be foreigners who work in Japan. 働く being work. や and also 旅行に来る外国人. So 旅行 is travel. 来る is to come. And then we have 外国人. So foreigners. So once again, we have a noun. 旅行に来る外国人. Noun being described. What kind of 外国人? What kind of foreigners? Foreigners who come for travel. 旅行に来る外国人が増えています. So 増える is to increase. We're currently in that state of it increasing. So we use the ている form. 増えています. 日本で働く外国人や旅行に来る外国人が増えていますが, so the number of foreigners who work in Japan and the number of foreigners who come to Japan for travel is increasing. が, however, 一部の人が, so 一部の人, some people, 一部 being connected to the noun 人 with a no, so some people がルールを守らない. So ルール rules, 守る in the negative, so 守らないことが問題になっています. So this こと turns all of this into a noun here. And then we have が問題になっています. So 問題 is an issue, and なる in the ている form is currently becoming an issue. It is an issue. So what is an issue? This koto tells us this entire thing. So the issue is some people are not obeying the rules. And the only thing this koto does here is it tells us that this is all one thing that is the issue here.
会議で高市総理大臣は、外国人にルールを守るようにしっかり言いたいと話しました。
Okay, so 会議で in a meeting or in the meeting, 高市総理大臣は So Takaichi 総理大臣、Prime Minister Takaichi, the new Prime Minister, は外国人に to foreigners ルールを守るように So ルールを守る to obey the rules, follow rules ようにしっかり言いたい So this is just like in our title. We have you with ように So she is saying do this, right? ように言う Almost like a command. And then しっかり firmly. So she firmly says to foreigners, obey the rules. 外国人にルールを守ら、sorry, I keep wanting to say 守らない。守る。So ルールを守るようにしっかり言いたい。I would like to firmly say to foreigners to obey the rules. と話しました。So this is what she said or spoke of. 話しました。Okay, then we should be able to just move this up. Okay, perfect.
そして今どんな問題があるか調べてどんなルールにしたらいいか考えるように言いました。
そして、and then we don't have another subject here. So this we are still assuming this is talking about Prime Minister Takaichi here. So 今どんな問題があるか。So 今 currently or now どんな問題 what kind of problems があるか So this ka makes it an embedded question, which then connects to our verb here. So 調べる in the te form. So we are doing this action right here and then doing another one. So with the 調べて So what are we looking up? What kind of problems currently exist? 今どんな問題 Currently, what kind of problems がある exist か調べて So we are currently looking up what kind of problems there are. And then what else are we doing? どんなルールにしたらいいか Once again, we have a ka here, embedded question connected to a verb. 考える So we are thinking about an issue. And the issue is どんなルールにしたらいいか So どんなルール What kind of rules にする So にする is to decide on something or to make something. So what kind of rules we should make. And this たらいい is like would it be good? So or what kind of rules should be made. 考える So we are thinking about what kind of rules should be made. 考えるように言いました So once again we have ように言いました So we are assuming that she's talking to the government and the various authorities and things like that. So we are doing two actions here. She is saying we should look into what kind of problems we currently have and to think about what kind of rules we should make.
来年の1月頃、新しいルールの考え方を決める予定です。
Okay. So 来年の1月頃、来年 next year connected to 1月頃 with the particle no. So 1月 January 頃 around. So around January of next year. 新しいルールの考え方。So 新しいルール new rules の考え方 So 考え方 is way of thinking or point of view を決める So we are deciding how to think of 考え方 how to think about the new rules So 新しいルールの考え方を決める予定です So all of this here is determining what kind of plans we are making. 予定です So we have plans to determine how to think about new rules or how we should approach new rules. I think approach is probably the best for 考え方 here. So there are plans to determine our approach for making new rules. And these plans for determining such will be made on or around January of next year, 来年の1月頃. And I read the official article, which this easy article is based off of. And one of the issues that Prime Minister Takaichi specifically mentioned is that, yes, Japan is currently in a state where they have to rely on foreign labor, but those of Japanese nationality also feel like they are being taken advantage of because so many advantages are being given to foreigners who come to Japan, and foreigners might not feel like that, but from a Japanese perspective, there are a lot of people who feel that way, in order to promote such an environment where foreigners can come to work to Japan. So it's a multifaceted issue that's really difficult, but I think we all kind of saw it coming if you've been paying attention to the kind of tourists that have been making the news or have been spread across social media. And the government and the Japanese people are kind of worried about what kind of country it will become if there are lots of foreigners who are let in and no one wants to obey the rules. So that was actually kind of a big talking point for Prime Minister Takaichi, and I think it gave her a lot of support from all sides. So thank you so much for being here for the article today. If you like this article, please like and subscribe. And also please hit that notification bell so you can keep studying Japanese daily. We release these every day that's not a Japanese holiday. I am also in the process of making a short video about Bunka no Hi, which is Culture Day, which was yesterday. It's a national holiday in Japan, which is why there was no article yesterday, but that should be coming shortly, so look out for that. Thank you so much, and I will plan on seeing you tomorrow. Mata ashita!